We all know that improving at a musical instrument requires practice, but the truth is that practice doesn't need our time alone. If you just throw 30 minutes at your instrument and you're not focused, there's no plan, there's no sense of how exactly you're going to improve, the practice isn't going to be very effective. I'm David Asher Brown with Skoove, and I'm going to share some tips, especially for beginners, on how to practice a musical instrument effectively. Tip number one, when you're thinking about the amount of time you're going to practice your instrument, consistency is much more important than the actual amount of time you're going to spend. So for instance, if you're only able to practice 10 minutes a day, believe it or not, that's going to take you much further than if you don't practice for any day of the week except for Thursdays, and then on Thursdays you practice for 3 hours straight. When we have very long practice sessions, we start getting diminishing returns. The longer we practice, the less focus we have, the less intention we have, and the less attention we're able to give to what it is that we're doing. That's because learning a musical instrument is different from many of the other tasks that we do. Many of the other tasks that we do are based on either our intelligence, or the way that we're thinking about something, or knowledge, or they're based on how well we can physically do something. In other words, if you were going to take a history exam, it wouldn't matter much how good you are at any kind of physical skill, because this is all a mental activity. And if you're going to run a race, that's based mostly on your physical ability to run. But when we talk about something like piano, it's really using both of those things. We have to develop a physical skill with how our body, and especially our hands in the case of piano, how that all moves. We have to train our body to be able to do things just like an athlete. But we also have to use our minds a lot, because we have to be able to read music, we have to be able to count, we have to be able to know what the music should sound like in our mind so that we can hear if we're making a mistake. And while you can sometimes cram for purely intellectual exercises like passing a history test, it doesn't work on the physical side. You can't cram to become a faster runner. Tip number two, instead of having purely a time commitment to your practice, think of a goal-oriented practice. In other words, instead of saying, today I'm going to practice for 10 minutes, you could say, today I'm going to learn measures 5 through 7. Now, for many of us who are very busy, that might not be in the cards. Maybe you just know you've got 10 minutes and you've got to just get to work, and that's the time that you've got for that day, and I totally get that. But if you have the luxury of planning out your practice sessions a little bit more, it might be a good idea to keep a journal, or you could use your phone. Keep track of what tempo you're reaching. If you're trying to gradually increase the speed that you're able to play a piece, keep track of what measures you're working on, and you'll start to notice that over time, you'll gradually start to chip away more and more at the piece that you're working on. Tip number three, try to isolate just one musical element at a time. When I play the piano, there are so many things I have to think about. I have to think about the notes, the rhythm, the expression, the dynamics, the phrasing. All of these things are competing for my attention at the same time, and when I'm learning a piece for the first time, it can be impossible to be able to do all of those things at once. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that we're learning the piece for Elise by Beethoven. I might start by just isolating the notes themselves. In other words, if I'm reading the music, let me see that the first note is an E, and the second note is a D sharp, and I can read those notes, and then I can isolate them by just playing those notes on the piano, forgetting about rhythm, forgetting about dynamics. I'm only focused on one thing at a time. If the rhythm is what I'm trying to think of, I might forget about the notes and just try to clap out the rhythm like this. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. In this example, I'm clapping while counting, and that allows me to focus all of my attention on just the meter and the rhythm. Maybe it's technique that I'm thinking of. I know that despite how many years I played piano, I'm always struggling with posture. So I might take a moment to think about only technique. Here's an example of something a friend once showed me when I was in college, which was, in order to have better posture, take your thumbs, place them by your sternum, and slowly trace an outline of your shoulders as you sit up nice and tall. Now, while I'm doing this exercise, I'm preparing myself to play a piece, but I haven't had to think about anything else other than my posture. And one last example. Let's say I want to focus on just the dynamics, but I have too much going on. One thing I might do is actually sing the piece. And you'll notice that your voice often does automatically what you want your hands to be able to do. Your voice will automatically, usually, get a little bit louder at the times when we want musically for this to become a little bit louder, and it'll become a little bit softer when we want it to become a little bit softer. And by singing, I'm taking all the pressure off of my hands and my mind. I can focus only on the dynamics. Tip number 4, make sure to connect your musical phrases in your practice. I'll stick with this for Elise example. Suppose that I'm practicing just the very beginning over and over and over again, and it sounds like this. Da 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 dum. The problem with this is if I just isolate that section, da 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 dum, and then I isolate the next section, bum ba da ba dum ba da ba dum, I'm going to end up with a piece of music that is very disjointed, and it's going to be hard to piece it back together. So what I'm going to do instead is connect every little section that I practice to the first note of the next section. In other words, instead of going da 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 dum, I'll go da 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 dum bum. And by adding that first note of the next section, it allows me to have continuity when I put the whole piece together. When I was young, I remember a lot of piano teachers used to say, practice makes perfect. But that phrase has been updated. The thing you'll often hear people say today is practice makes permanent. And the difference is that if you practice something incorrectly, it could create problems that are much more difficult to undo than if you had never practiced at all. So it's not enough just to practice, we want to practice thoughtfully. If you'd like to give this a try and start your piano learning journey today, head to the description and find our link for Skoove where you can get started.